During the Middle Ages, Ukraine was the site of early Slavic expansion, and the area later became a key center of East Slavic culture under the state of Kievan Rus, which emerged in the 9th century. The state eventually disintegrated into rival regional powers and was ultimately destroyed by the Mongol invasions of the 13th century. The area was then contested, divided, and ruled by a variety of external powers for the next 600 years, including the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, the Austrian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the Tsardom of Russia. The Cossack Hetmanate emerged in central Ukraine in the 17th century, but was partitioned between Russia and Poland, and ultimately absorbed by the Russian Empire. Ukrainian nationalism developed, and following the Russian Revolution in 1917, the short-lived Ukrainian People's Republic was formed. The Bolsheviks consolidated control over much of the former empire and established the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic, which became a constituent republic of the Soviet Union when it was formed in 1922. In the early 1930s, millions of Ukrainians died in the Holodomor, a man-made famine. The German occupation during World War II in Ukraine was devastating, and 7 million Ukrainian civilians were killed, including the majority of Ukrainian Jews. Ukraine gained independence in 1991 as the Soviet Union dissolved, and declared itself neutral. A new constitution was adopted in 1996. A series of mass demonstrations, known as the Euromaidan, led to the establishment of a new government in 2014 after a revolution. Russia then unilaterally annexed Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula, and pro-Russian unrest culminated in a war in the Donbass between Russian-backed separatists and government forces in eastern Ukraine. Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Since the outbreak of war with Russia, Ukraine has continued to seek closer ties with the United States, European Union, and NATO. 13-14-15. Ukraine is a unitary state with a semi-presidential system. Although a developing country, it is the poorest country in Europe by nominal GDP per capita 16, and corruption remains a significant issue. 17-18. However, due to its extensive fertile land, pre-war Ukraine was one of the largest grain exporters in the world. 1920. It is a founding member of the United Nations, as well as a member of the Council of Europe, the World Trade Organization, and the OSCE. It is in the process of joining the European Union and has submitted an application for NATO membership. 21. Etymology and orthography. Main article, Name of Ukraine. The name of Ukraine likely comes from the Old Slavic term for borderland, 22, as does the word Krina. In the English-speaking world during most of the 20th century, Ukraine, whether independent or not, was referred to as the Ukraine. 23. This is because the word Ukraina means borderland. 24. So the definite article would be natural in the English language. This is similar to Nederlanden, which means lowlands and is rendered in English as the Netherlands. 25. However, since Ukraine's declaration of independence in 1991, this usage has become politicized and is now rarer, and style guides advise against its use. 26-27. U.S. Ambassador William Taylor said that using the Ukraine implies disregard for Ukrainian sovereignty. 28. The official Ukrainian position is that the Ukraine is both grammatically and politically incorrect. 29. Settlement by modern humans in Ukraine and its vicinity dates back to 32,000 BC, with evidence of the Gravitayan culture in the Crimean Mountains. 31-32. By 4500 BC, the Neolithic Kukushani Tripolia culture was flourishing in wide areas of modern Ukraine, including Tripolia and the entire Dnieper-Dniester region. Ukraine is also considered to be the likely location of the first domestication of the horse. 33, 34, 35, 36. The Kurgan hypothesis places the Volga-Dnieper region of Ukraine and southern Russia as the linguistic homeland of the Proto-Indo-Europeans. 37. Early Indo-European migrations from the Pontic steppes in the 3rd millennium BC spread Yamnaya steppe pastoralist ancestry and Indo-European languages across large parts of Europe. 38. During the Iron Age, the land was inhabited by Iranian-speaking Cimmerians, Scythians, and Sarmatians. 39 Between 700 BC and 200 BC it was part of the Scythian kingdom. 40. From the 6th century BC, Greek, Roman, and Byzantine colonies were established on the northeastern shore of the Black Sea, such as at Tyrus, Olbia, and Chersonesus. These thrived into the 6th century AD. The Goths stayed in the area, but came under the sway of the Huns from the 370s. In the 7th century, the territory that is now eastern Ukraine was the center of Old Great Bulgaria. At the end of the century, the majority of Bulgar tribes migrated in different directions, and the Khazars took over much of the land. 41. In the 5th and 6th centuries, the early Slavic Antes people lived in Ukraine. Migrations from the territories of present-day Ukraine throughout the Balkans established many South Slavic nations. Northern migrations, reaching almost to Lake Ilmen, led to the emergence of the Ilmen Slavs, Krivichs, and Radimichs. Following an Avar raid in 602 and the collapse of the Antes Union, most of these people survived as separate tribes until the beginning of the second millennium. 42 Need quotation to verify.